RNIB, Opening Up Creative Culture. Audio description for the first time. Evoke, a young man in his lounge.
Audio description was completely alien to me. It was something that I'd never done before. I didn't even really know what it was. And my background is really spoken word poetry. And I guess somebody liked people often tell me that they like the way that I describe things. They like the way my use of language, my use of words and metaphor. And somebody out there connected the dots and went, hang on a minute, maybe this guy could describe images. And I thought, I want to do this. I want to have a go with it. And what I decided to do was actually play around with it. I wanted to take it outside the box. I wanted to talk about what was going on inside the picture. I wanted to, make it more creative. I mean, like they say, a picture tells 1,000 words, doesn't it? And I basically took those 1,000 words and created a picture. It just gives it a different spin. It gives it a whole different spin, doesn't it? Yeah, one of the things about audio description is that it can be very literal. And by being literal, saying exactly what's there allows the listener to kind of just go, okay, that's what it is. Now I can kind of put my own beliefs, my own thoughts into it and how it connects to me, you know what I mean? But then there are also other avenues that you can take it down. You can, and like I did, I took more of a metaphorical. I did some of the literal, but I also wanted to do some of the metaphorical stuff so that it just gave it another spin. And what I found is that by doing the metaphorical as well as the literal, you actually get something something different, something quite nice. It's just something a bit edgy. Not saying that it's better, because either one could be as good as the other. In some cases, some people might just want to hear the literal and interpret it for themselves. Other cases, people do want to be taken on the journey, and they like the idea of, oh, that's a really nice interpretation. I didn't think about it that way. One of the main questions, when I first started out with it, one of the main questions that I asked myself is, what is needed? What do I need to bring out of this image? And essentially, I mean, when you start creating something, if you're building blocks, you start with the first block, you put on the next block, and you put the next block. I work backwards. Like, I start with the end product. What do I need to produce? And I needed to produce a perspective. Interestingly, one of the difficulties about audio description is a question of how do you portray somebody else's art. That was quite a scary question, one of the big questions that I asked in the beginning actually, and I needed to kind of come to terms with that. And the way I did come to terms with that is that I needed to be just as enthusiastic, just as passionate, and just as confident in what I was saying as much as the original artist was about what they were trying to portray.
A photo of young black men and their sound system.
Ask yourself, why did they take this picture? What was so special about this picture that they felt that this needed to be captured and put into, they captured the spirit of this picture, but why? What is the spirit of this picture telling me? And what was it telling them? And see if you can connect to that. I discovered that anybody, and I do believe this, that anybody can do audio description. And the reason I believe that is because audio description is about perspective. You're taking the artist's perspective and you're just describing the artist's perspective. And we all do that essentially when we communicate. Like if we go to an art gallery and somebody says, oh, what was that picture? You describe the picture. Whether you feel like you did a good enough job or not is a different story. But you can play around with that, lose yourself in the image. And when you lose yourself in the image, you find yourself in this image and it's just, you can't go wrong. That's why I do believe that anybody can do audio description.
RNIB, supporting blind and partially sighted people. Logos for Arts Council England, Punch Records, Imagineer Productions and Ironbridge Gorge Museum Trust.